Yes, trade recap April the 8th. Today I'm down $66, around 0.67 hour. But I've taken like some stupid trades, not like stupid, there was like some greedy one, but also some other good ones I want to talk about today. So today the expectancy was as following. On the bigger picture, we had this crazy bid during the ETH of around almost 3%, yeah, 2% from the close of yesterday. And I thought that while when I was beginning to trade, we were kind of balancing and trying to get higher into this 400-day cumulative profile here from the lows. So the expectancy was there, as they have still been in here, for them to hold this low here and get higher. So I was more bullish, kind of looking forward. I was like more bullish biased, but that bias immediately changed after I saw what was happening in like the first hour. And I will show you what that was and why I've taken a trade based on that. You guys can see here is like the low volume area from the volume profile, the 400-day one, and this was like the balance low. So there was the expectancy there for them to hold in this area here. And as they failed and broke out of this smaller volume profile area, I can pull it. You can see, I think until here, there was like a kind of a balancing thing, and they were losing it more and more. They lost the steam of the bidding, and I thought, okay, if they lose this once more, I want to trade a breakout. Breakout had a pretty bad entry, but with an 8-point stop, I almost got like top ticked, but like by half a point I didn't, and then they failed. I was too greedy. That's why I didn't took any profits down there when I was like 17 points. And yeah, that was like the first trade I've missed. And then the second one was the following, which was this one, this one here, another short. Why have I taken the short? Because they were overselling it here, overbought here again, and the footprint showed me also some strength to it. That was like, that's the first one here, that's the second trade I've taken. As you guys can see, big positive delta in the highs, but no really a following of the point of control up there. Volume was lower. I mean, here was the volume higher, so it wasn't like a perfect good trade. So not like where I can say, okay, I got the concept right here, but we saw some sellers coming in. That was like the reason why I've taken the short, and with the combination of prior there were like more positive delta up here. I thought that they might get absorbed and try to hold it and balance around, but they failed. And what is really interesting to see, every time when you see CVD making this, see what they have done, higher high, and now they were going lower, lower low, lower low, until here, only until here. And from there on, they were making any lower prices. But CVD was dropping until they finally got some aggressive buyers, or like aggressive buyers got stronger, and then they ripped it from there higher, and I've just got stopped out, lost like $80, which is an equivalent of somewhere around 1 hour right now in this current environment, because I don't like this crazy movement, especially with all the news coming in, and I won't like to trade with a 6-point stop on ES. Yeah, from there on, they have rebid all the way here, and they were coming back into this lows once more, where the prior held resistance pretty well. And as you guys can see, there were like some big negative delta shaping up, in combination with like you can see more sellers, then more buyers started to step in, heavily oversold signals. CVD was also dropping. You can see we have been here dropping. Price got made a new high, dropping all the way. Here was price making a higher high and holding the lower high, and CVD was still going lower. And that was like the same scenario like before, where you can just anticipate aggression of buyers starting to step in, and that happened. I've taken like a good trade. The last one I've taken a profit at 17 points, 12 points, and the first one has been taken out at, I think, at 29 ticks is 6, 32, 8 is not really a 1 hour for one contract, but that's totally okay. Yeah, that was this one here. And then they were coming back once more into this low. I haven't taken along from there. Would have totally made sense, but the reason was the structure wasn't like really cool. I mean, they made like a higher high compared into this low, oversold signals. Again, pretty negative delta area here, but they also made like this lower low here. But ultimately they failed, got higher. Yeah, that was this one here. And then they were coming back into this area once more. We saw some oversold signals. Again, pretty aggressive move because of news. Then they were bouncing around. And from here on, you can see there was like a following of price based on CVD. And from there on, you see CVD was making lower low, lower low. But price wasn't. They were holding it steady. And I was betting exactly the same on this trade, on this entry, like I did before it worked out. This one here, not really. CVD was like dropping, and you can see heavily oversold signals here. And there wasn't like any bidding. It was just passive buying was pretty strong, and it just took the aggression of sellers a little bit longer than expected to go low and break these lows. But they didn't fail, and I got stopped. That was it for today. Let's see us tomorrow.